Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of the Papa D's cooking show at the train in Fordsburg. Now today, again, I'll be cooking a curry with some khichdi so that you know that you can do all these traditional home-cooked meals that our mothers and grandmothers cook for us, and we don't need the whole day to do it. So let's say Bismillah and start now with our rice. So to get that going, I want to get some onions in here. Now you can also do the rice in the old conventional way, where you would make the vagar and throw it over. But I'm doing it here, trying to save you time without losing the essence of the meal. I'm going to add some oil in here. My pan has already been preheated. I'll also add some ghee in because ghee in khichdi is actually very nice. I'm going to add some ghee in there. And a little bit of the jiru here. A piece of cinnamon always enhances the fragrance of your rice. So just one or two little pieces there. And if you want, cloves are very strong, so maybe just one or two cloves can do. And again, for the fragrance, I'm going to put in a cardamom pod. You can hear it sizzling. My cooker is switched on. Now I don't need to cook this through all the way. There we are. I'm happy with the onions now because they are still going to cook through with the rice. I've soaked about a cup of rice here. I've used basmati rice. And I want to remove that excess starch. So I've removed the water from the rice. And I'm going to add it to the pot. Give it a bit of a stir around. Not to forget, I put on average 1 teaspoonful of salt to a cup of rice. I'm going to add my dals. I've mixed it through nicely. My onions are evenly spread. If you want your onions a little browner, then brown them a little bit more. And now I'm going to add the water in. So to a cup of rice, I'm going to add a cup of water. And if you check the marks inside, I'm just doubling the volume of the water so that with the rice, by the time it cooks, it should be double the volume. My rice is ready. I'm going to add now my haldi to give it the color for the khichdi. I'm not putting too much. I don't want it too intensely yellow. A little more would do. There we go. That's ready. Bismillah. Close that and switch on. Now that's out of my way. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Right now we're going to start cooking our mince. You'll notice the water is still draining out of the mince here. It's given it a bit of moisture because again, I'm going to do what they call waterless cooking. and I won't add water. If I need more gravy, then I can always do that much later. I've left my cooker on, so it's already preheated, and I'm going to add in my oil. You don't need too much here because there is a lot of fat in the mince. Always try and buy a nice lean mince. And to that, I'm just going to add my usual fragrant spices to get them to start releasing the flavors. I've got my cinnamon and the cardamom and clove. Now that's ready. Just got to get that going. Yes, my pan is heating up. I'm now going to put my mince in there. Don't drain the mince entirely because you're going to lose a lot of moisture, and that'll make you'll eventually then have to add water to it. So after you've washed it, just give it a quick wash before you start using it, so that it still has the moisture in it. I'm going to now add in my ginger garlic paste. I like the flavor of ginger and garlic, so I'm using quite a bit of that. And I'll start now with the other dry spices. I'm putting the bit of jeeru in now. That's my fine jeeru. That's the dana there. Always remember, in meat, you use more jeeru because actually it's got a stronger flavor, and it will also help you by keeping the overwhelming flavors of the meat under check. Add in the haldi there. You'll notice I haven't added the tomato yet because I want this to first cook out and get some of those juices out of there. All my dry spices are in now. And the salt. I'm now going to prepare my onion. Now you could have done this onion in the first phase where you did it with your dry spices, your tej and your jeeru and all that. But I want the onions to be whole, or not whole. I don't want them to lose all their consistency. I want them to form part of the gravy. So that's why I'm only adding them much later. You'll notice by the time this is cooked, the onions will have dissolved completely. I've just chopped it up quite finely. That'll help the cooking process. And I'm going to drop this in now. All my ingredients are in. I'm going to give it a good stir around. So I'm happy with that. Let it braise for a little longer while I put my chilies in. You could slit the chilies if you want the strength and the pungency to come out more, but I've already added more of the red fine chilies. I don't want it too strong, so I'm just going to give this one slit. Potatoes are in there. I'm just going to slit these into half. Be careful when you're working with round veggies. And then I'm going to chop in some carrots. I'm not making them too thick. Give it a bit of a stir around. I'm now going to add my tomato puree. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I prefer using tomato puree or even the whole peeled tomatoes which you get in a can, because there are a lot of them, that the Italian variety actually are less acidic. There we are. Now if I should need any more gravy, I can always add water at the end of the cooking. I'm ready now to close my pot, where we get both our dishes coming out simultaneously. Don't forget to check the vent. And there we are. I'm going to set this at the same time as chicken, which is around about 15 minutes. And there we go. I'll go and get something else ready in the meantime and come back and serve the meal. So here we are. My the cooker has stopped cooking. I'm going to check on the rice first. My curry is ready as well. Let's just see what we have with the rice. There we are. Nice and steamy. I'm going to check the consistency of the rice. And I'd like to show you each grain separately cooked beautifully. And you know, sometimes rice actually is a bit of a finicky dish. You end up where it becomes like a porridge. Now here there's no science to it. All you do, put it in, and the cooker will do the rest. So I'm happy with my rice. I just want to check how my curry is doing. And in the meantime, I'm going to call Chef Proud to come and help us present this meal. Let's see what this is. You need to always remember, but even if you forget, there is a safety valve. You won't be able to open it under pressure. So I'm going to open my cooker and let's see what's happened to the curry. Now remember folks, this was cooked in about under 15 minutes. I cooked it as I would have cooked chicken. You can see the texture of the curry, it's perfect. I'm just going to give it one stir around without breaking the veggies. All my veggies are perfectly done. And check my potatoes, perfectly done. And of course, if the potatoes are done, everything else is. You'll notice it's not a very runny curry, but if you need more gravy, you can either add more tomato puree even at this stage and cook it for about 5 minutes, or otherwise just add a little bit of water. But for me, the consistency is perfect. If Chef Proud can come along and help us to serve this meal. So here we have it, folks. Our minced curry with mixed vegetables, served with khichdi and papad on the side. And for today, that'll be all from us at the train in Fordsburg. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.